Hello everyone, and in this video we are going to discuss about how can we convert this form into separate components. We have created this form in the last video, so if you want to learn how to create this form, you can watch that video first. So first of all, we will create a separate component for this input. Is the title input field. So let's create it. So here in the views, and in the components, we will create a new folder and we will name it form. And inside this form folder, we will create a new file that is called input.plate.php. And here, if we come to the views, backend post, and create file, here you can see we have an input field. So let's copy this input field and paste it here. And now let's replace this with the component. So x dash form dot info. And now let's close it. So now let's refresh the page and you can see the same thing here. But we don't want to use it like this. So we need to modify this code so that we can use it for every input field. So here, let's first define a prof. So profs, and here we will give it a name. So now we will replace this name with all of these so that we can pass it and reuse it for other input fields. So here I will say $name, and here let's copy and paste it here with the ID, here with the name, and here. So that's it. Here in the title, we will write UC words so that we convert this into the uppercase. And now let's output this. So move this inside UC words, and now let's check it. So we have undefined variable name. So that is because we haven't provided the name. So let's provide this name here. So name is equal to title. And now let's refresh. And you can see here the same input. Okay. Now let's change the other ones as well. So we have converted this text. So here we have still title and title. So let's change this. So $name and remove the quotes. And here the same thing as well. So $name and here as well. So $name. And now let's refresh the page. And now you can see we have the same input field. And if I inspect it, so let's go to this input field. And here you can see input title, the value is, the name is title. And so now if we want to reuse this component, so let me close this first. So if we want to reuse this component, how can we do that? So let's say if I want to create an email field, so how can we do that? So here I will just copy this, and here I will write email. So now we have an email field. And now here, let's copy this again. And if I want to create a password, here you can see, we'll write just password. And you can see we can reuse it, but here we have a problem. If we check the type of this, it will be just text. So text, the type of the email is text. So, and here in the password, the type will be text. So if you write anything, you will see that. So the type of this password is also text. So you can see type is text. So now we need to modify it. So how can we do that? So let's say here we will provide a type. So the type will be write it in the quotes. So type, and the type is by default the type will be text if we don't provide it. So now if we refresh and write something here, again it is text. But let's say if you want to provide the type here, the password. And here we need to change the type here. So how can we do that? So we have already passed this, so now we need to what happen. Okay. So something happened. Why have you done this? Okay. Due to some reason, my ID is creating a problem, but we will fix that. Okay. So the type is here. We will write type and teller. So I know that. And let's remove 1, 2, 3, 2 from here and use some space. So the type will be type. Okay. And here let's provide codes. And now let's refresh. And here now you can see the type is password. And similarly for the email, here let's provide the type, and the type will be email. And now let's see, let's double check it. So here the email type is email, and the password type should be password, and the title field is text. So now we can reuse this input component in different input fields. So that's the power. And so you don't need to create these things and provide the classes and everything every time. So you just create component once and reuse it like this. So it's very simple and easy to use. And if you want to change styles or something later on, you can change it easily. So now let's remove these two fields. And now let's create a component for this select input field. Let's copy this from here. So select, yeah, copy this. And here in the form, we will create a new file that is called select.blade.php. And here let's paste it. And again, here let's provide the props. So it props the name And here, let's write $name. And here, let's write UC words and $name. And let's copy this. And here we need it here and here. And now we need to provide the categories variable. And here we $name and here as well. Okay. So now let's use this select. Yeah, this one here in this file. So let's remove this. And here let's write x dash form dot select. And let's provide the name, and that is categories or category. And now let's refresh, and we can see we have the error category is undefined variable. So let's pass the categories and dollar category. And now let's refresh again. And still okay. So we have provided it here, but we haven't provided here in the props. So let's write it here. So here we will have a prop that is called categories. And now let's refresh again. And here you can see we have the CSS and AC. Okay, so it's working now. So let's say, but here we have another problem. If I submit it, here I can't see any error. Because here we have provided the category, so we need to name it properly. So here I will write category ID, and now let's refresh and submit. So you can see. Okay, so we need to provide. So now here we have another problem. Here we see category ID. So we don't want that. We just want category. So how can we do that? So we need to trim the category ID here and that provided. So here if I come to Laravel website, and here if I search for and string. So here for strings you have different methods, and here we will use before or before last. So I will use this one before last. Where is it? This one. So string before last, and then we can provide the value and what we want to do. Okay. So string before last. Let's copy this. And here. So string before last. Let's remove this. And another one. And we want to do that with the underscore. So we want the string before this last underscore. Okay. So now let's refresh. And now you can see category. So we got rid of this underscore already. But if we see it here, where is it? So here we have category ID, but here we have category. Okay. So I hope you got the font. And now we can use this. So let's submit it. And now the error is gone. Okay. So we have successfully created this select. Let's create the text area. So let's create a new component here in the form and new file and text area dot blade dot php. And if we come to the this one here, so let's copy this from here and text area, paste it here. So we need the same thing here as well. So I'll just copy it from here and text area here. And let's remove the categories because we don't need it. Okay. So now for body. So here we need to replace it here and here and here and here. Okay. So here we will write. Okay. My ID is creating a problem due to some reason. So let's do it one by one. So here I will write $name and just copy and paste it. So copy and paste. And yeah. Okay, and now let's copy this and paste it here. And, and here. So yeah, uppercase words. So let's change this to ESE words. And now let's check it. So here, let's in the create. Let's remove this and stage form dot text area, and we need to provide the name. So the name was body of the post, and that's it. And let's refresh so you can see the same thing here. And let's inspect it. So everything looks good. Now let's create this button. So there are different ways to create buttons, but I will give you just a simple way. So here let's create a new file. So button dot php, or you can say submit button dot php, whatever you want. And let's copy this from here to here. So this is the submit button, and here let's write the slot. So $slot, and let's remove this, and here let's use it. So x dot form x dash form dot button, and to close it the way around, and here we will write. You can write create. So you can see the same thing, or you can say submit, and you can see. Okay, so whatever you generated here, so just a simple button. And here if you want to create just a primary button or danger button, different buttons, you can do that. Or if you want, you can provide classes to this button from here and receive it here, and then use attributes merge class. So choice is yours, you can use it according to your needs and requirements, but I will leave it here like this. Now another thing is, here in the fields we have these labels and the error message. So here, so we can create separate components for the labels and the error messages. So let's do that. So first of all, let's create a label. So label dot blade dot php, and here let's copy this label, and here we can say it props dollar name, and let's reuse this label in all of the fields. So we have the inputs, so here use that one. So just remove this one, and x dash form dot label, and let's provide the name will be dollar name, and close it. And here we need to write it like this, and now let's check it, and you can see the same result. So now let's copy this from here and input select. So here we will write it like this, and in the text area similar thing. And now let's refresh again. So you can see the same result here. Okay, and now let's replace this error message. So create a new component, and here we will write error message or whatever you like, error whatever. So blade is .php. So we'll just write here error .blade.php, and just copy it from here and paste it here. And if we come to the label, just copy it to here. And now let's reuse it in the components. So in the input, Here we will just replace it x dash form dot here and name. So the name will be dollar name, and let's close it like this. So let me copy this and let's pass check that. So you can see it now. Replace it in the other ones. So replace it here and replace it here. So now if you want to change the style of the label or the error message or whatever, just change it, and here in this one component, and it will be changed in all of the components automatically because you are reusing it. So that's why it will be reflected everywhere. So in this way, let's see our farm now. So this is our farm. It's very simple, no need to provide classes and whatever, just reuse the components. And here, let's check it. And you can see the error messages for every one of them. Now, another thing is you can replace this form. So let's replace this form component here as well. So create a component form dot blade dot php. So just pause the video here and create a form component and reuse it here, and then later on watch this video and compare it with your code. And share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. So form, and let's copy this form. Yeah. So in the form, I will just remove everything here. So we have an empty form. Now we have different methods for the form, and we will have different actions. So we need to modify this form in order to create a form that we can reuse it. So first of all, we will create a prop here on the top, and that prop will be get props, and here we will define it as method. So method, and the default method will be get. So we will have the method get by default if we don't define it. Otherwise, the method will be used that we have provided. So here we have different methods. So post, put, fetch, etc. We can't use it just directly here because Laravel accept put, pet, and fetch, but the browser don't know about it. So here we need to write some code here. So if, so let's change this pass to uppercase words. So uppercase words, UC words, and dollar method. If the dollar method is not is equal to get, so if this method is not get, then what we will do? So here we will create another variable. So that will be set PHP, and that will be the farm method, so that we can use it in the farm. So dollar farm, dollar farm method. You can give it any name, and that will be post. So if the method is not get, use the method post, and we will use this one here. So let's use it. Again, it. I don't know why my ID is doing it. Okay. So the method is form method. So if the method is not get, then we will use post method for the browser. But we need to provide that method for the Laravel, so that Laravel knows whether it is put or page or destroy method, whatever it is. So here we will use the method. So it method, and the method is dollar method. And here we need to provide the slot for our farm, so dollar slot. And here if we have the method get, so if we, let me show it to you first. So let's use that component. So here, instead of writing this, here let's write x dash farm dot farm. It's a bit confusing, but the farm is the folder and this farm is this farm. So farm and farm. So now let's refresh, and we have undefined variable farm method. So that's why you can see that is because we haven't defined any method. And if we don't define the method, so we will use the method get. So we will be inside this, not inside this. So this farm method will be undefined. So here we need to write it else dollar farm method. Let me copy this, paste it here, is equal to get or whatever. And now let's refresh, and now you can see the errors come. But for this one, we are using post. So let's use the method post. And now you can see, so let's see it. And here we have the form method first, and we have the method first here. Okay, so successfully we are using it, so there is no error. Okay, now another thing is that the action. So how can we provide the action? So here we have this action, but in the form we can't write it like this. So here we will say action, or you can say URL or route, whatever you want. So action, and here we will $action, and so this is the action now. Okay, so now let's refresh and check it again. So we are successfully echoing or passing the URL. Post good. So we have some error here. Okay, now let's check it, and okay, so now it's working good. So in this way you can reuse the file here as well. So now this is our farm that we have created. So I hope you got it. And that's all for this video now, and please like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.